Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night because your feet were burning? Not from heat, not from anything you could point to, just this strange, relentless sensation that doesn't make sense and doesn't go away? Or maybe it's your hands that tingle for no clear reason. Or that odd electric feeling that shoots through your legs when you least expect it. You mention it to your doctor, they run a few tests, and sometimes the answer you get back is the one that helps the least. It's probably just your age. I'm Dr. Naira, and I've spent years sitting across from older adults who were told exactly that. People who were suffering, who were frightened, and who deserved a better explanation than, "This is just what happens." Because in many cases, it isn't just age. And in many cases, the real cause is something these patients were being exposed to every single day without anyone telling them it was a problem. Stay with me today, because what I'm going to share with you could be the most important thing you hear about your nerve health. And if you're experiencing tingling, numbness, burning, or that unsettling feeling of not quite trusting your own balance, this conversation is for you. Before we go further, leave a comment and tell me your age and where you're watching from today. And let me know whether you've experienced any of these symptoms, because I read every single comment and your experience matters here. Let me tell you about a man I'll call Frank. He was 68, recently retired, still active. But his feet burned at night, his toes went numb during the day, and every so often, a sharp electric pain would shoot through his legs without warning and without explanation. He'd been told it was probably circulation, probably aging, probably just one of those things. When we looked deeper, we found something else entirely. Something he was consuming every single day that was quietly working against his nerves. When we removed it, the damage didn't reverse overnight, but it stopped getting worse. And for Frank, that changed everything. So what was it? And why are so many seniors unknowingly exposed to the same thing every day? To understand that, you need to understand something about nerves that most people were never taught. Nerves are not wires, they are living tissue. Delicate, complex, and deeply dependent on stable internal conditions to function properly. Unlike skin or muscle, nerves heal extremely slowly. That means damage accumulates quietly, sometimes for years, long before you feel so much as a tingle. By the time symptoms appear, the problem has often been building in the background for a very long time. And here's the part that surprises most people. The most damaging thing to your nerves is not some rare industrial chemical. It's not even alcohol by itself. The most common and most destructive poison to senior nerves is something far more ordinary. It's chronic blood sugar toxicity. And here's what makes this so important. You do not need to have diabetes for blood sugar to destroy your nerves. You only need repeated spikes. Millions of older adults experience those spikes every single day without realizing it. When blood sugar rises too high, sugar molecules attach to nerve fibers and to the tiny blood vessels that feed them. This triggers inflammation, oxidative stress, and damage to the protective sheath that surrounds your nerves. Over time, nerves lose their ability to send clean, clear signals. That's when the tingling starts. Then the numbness, then the burning, then the pain. Then, for some people, the loss of balance that makes every step feel uncertain. One of the most damaging myths in senior health is that neuropathy just appears one day out of nowhere. It doesn't. It develops silently, often over years, while the underlying cause keeps doing its damage in the background. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been told your blood sugar is a little high, but not high enough to worry about? Or that you're borderline or pre-diabetic? That's often precisely where nerve damage begins. Research now shows that prediabetes causes nerve damage almost as frequently as full diabetes does. The difference is that most people with prediabetes don't know they have it, and most of them are never warned about what it's doing to their nerves. Now here's where this gets uncomfortable. The poison is not obvious. It hides inside foods and habits that actually sound healthy on the surface, and that's exactly why so many people miss it. Let me walk you through how this works in the body. You eat something that raises blood sugar quickly. Your body releases insulin to manage it. Over time, your cells become less responsive to insulin. Sugar lingers in the bloodstream longer than it should. Your nerves, especially the long ones in your feet and hands, are exposed to elevated sugar levels again and again. The tiny blood vessels that deliver oxygen to those nerves become damaged. Oxygen delivery drops. your nerves slowly begin to starve. And because this happens so gradually, people rarely connect the dots. They say the symptoms came out of nowhere, when really it's been building for years. So where does this blood sugar toxicity come from in daily life? There are three main sources, and at least one of them may surprise you. The first is liquid sugar. Fruit juice, sweetened coffee drinks, sports drinks, and even the smoothies that sound like health food. When sugar comes in liquid form, there's no fiber to slow it down. It rushes into the bloodstream almost immediately, creating sharp spikes that hit nerve tissue like a wave. Seniors are often told that juice is easy nutrition, a gentle way to get vitamins. But from a nerve health perspective, it's one of the fastest ways to cause damage. The second source is refined carbohydrates eaten without anything to slow them down. Bread, crackers, cereal, white rice, pasta, eaten alone without protein or fat alongside them. These foods break down into sugar quickly, and that sugar goes straight into the bloodstream. They're often recommended to older adults because they're easy to digest. But easy to digest frequently means fast sugar release. And fast sugar release means repeated exposure to the very thing that damages nerves. The third source is constant snacking throughout the day. When insulin stays elevated all day long without any break, nerves never get a recovery window. They stay inflamed, they stay irritated. Nerves need stable conditions to survive, and constant sugar exposure keeps them in a state of chronic stress. There's also something that doesn't get talked about nearly enough. Certain medications can quietly worsen nerve damage by interfering with the body's ability to absorb key nutrients. Acid-blocking medications, some diabetes drugs, certain cholesterol medications, all of these can deplete vitamin B12 over time. And B12 is essential for maintaining the protective coating that surrounds your nerves. Without enough of it, nerves become fragile and begin to misfire. I had a patient named Susan. Her feet had been numb for years. Multiple doctors had told her it was aging. When we tested her nutrient levels, she was severely deficient in B12. And the cause wasn't her diet, it was a medication she had been taking faithfully for years without anyone ever checking what it was doing to her nutrient levels. Once we corrected the deficiency, her nerve damage stopped progressing. It didn't fully reverse, but it stopped. And that was enough to give her life back a measure of stability. Neuropathy is rarely caused by just one thing. It's usually a combination of blood sugar toxicity, inflammation, nutrient depletion, and compromised circulation. But blood sugar toxicity is the accelerant. It's what turns a slow burn into something that moves faster than your nerves can recover from. And nerves do have a tipping point. Early damage shows up as tingling and mild numbness. Later damage brings pain, balance problems, and falls. Once nerves die, they are extraordinarily difficult to regenerate. That's why identifying the cause and removing it early is so critical. I want you to hear this clearly. Neuropathy is not always reversible, but in many cases, it can be stopped from getting worse. And stopping the progression, preserving the function you still have, protecting your balance and your independence, that is not a small thing. That is everything. So if blood sugar toxicity is the poison, what neutralizes it? What can you actually do starting today? The answers are simpler than most people expect, and that simplicity is exactly why they're so often overlooked. The single most important step is stabilizing blood sugar. Not chasing perfect numbers, not following an extreme diet, just keeping things steady, because every sharp spike in blood sugar is like a small chemical burn to nerve tissue. Fewer spikes mean less damage. That alone can slow or stop progression. Here's the most important rule I share with patients dealing with neuropathy. Never eat carbohydrates alone. Not fruit, not bread, not crackers, not cereal, not anything that converts quickly to sugar. When carbohydrates are eaten by themselves, they hit the bloodstream too fast. Sugar rises sharply, insulin surges, and the conditions that support nerve repair get disrupted. But when those same carbohydrates are eaten alongside protein or healthy fat, absorption slows dramatically. The same food that harms nerves when eaten alone becomes far less harmful when eaten correctly. This rule alone explains why two people with very similar diets can have completely different outcomes when it comes to nerve health. Let me give you a real example. A patient of mine, James, 74 years old, came in because his legs felt weak by early afternoon and his feet burned at night. He believed he was eating well. Every morning he started his day with a fruit smoothie, banana, mango, juice, yogurt. It sounded healthy, but that liquid sugar was hitting his bloodstream before his body had any protection in place. We removed the smoothie, we replaced it with eggs and vegetables in the morning, and moved a small portion of fruit to later in the day, after a meal, not before. Within weeks, his nerve pain eased, his balance improved, his energy held through the afternoon. Nothing dramatic happened. We simply stopped doing the thing that was poisoning his nerves every single morning. The second step is eliminating liquid sugar entirely. No juice, no sweetened drinks, no smoothies. Even juice that is 100% natural is still sugar without fiber. Fiber is the thing that slows absorption and protects your nerves from a sudden flood of sugar. Without it, the damage happens fast. If you love fruit, eat it whole, in small amounts, and always after a meal. Never on an empty stomach. That one change alone can meaningfully reduce nerve irritation. The third step is protecting yourself with the right nutrients. Your nerves require specific building blocks to maintain their structure. B12 is the most critical. It maintains the myelin sheath, the protective coating around nerve fibers. Without enough of it, nerves become exposed and fragile. Many seniors are deficient without knowing it, particularly those on long-term medications. Beyond B12, magnesium supports nerve signaling and helps with cramping. Folate works alongside B12 to protect nerve tissue. Alpha-lipoic acid has been shown in some research to reduce oxidative stress in nerves and may help with symptoms. But I want to offer an important caution here. More is not always better. Vitamin B6, for example, can actually worsen nerve damage when taken in high doses. Testing matters. Guessing can cause harm. Please speak with your doctor before starting any new supplement, especially if you're already on medications. The fourth step is reducing chronic inflammation. Inflammation amplifies pain signals. It takes mild nerve irritation and turns it into severe burning or stabbing. Highly processed foods, refined oils, and excess sugar all fuel this inflammatory state. Foods like fatty fish, olive oil, leafy vegetables, and anti-inflammatory spices like turmeric help calm these pathways. Quieter inflammation means quieter nerves. The fifth step is gentle movement. Not intense exercise, not anything that pushes you past your comfort, just circulation. A 10-minute walk after meals can lower blood sugar and improve blood flow to nerve tissue. Movement, done gently and consistently, is medicine. I want to speak directly to anyone who feels discouraged right now. I know that hearing nerve damage is slow to heal can feel like a door closing, but stopping progression is just as meaningful as reversing damage. Less pain at night, better sleep, steadier balance, the confidence to walk across a room without fear. These things matter. They are not small consolation prizes. They are the difference between living fully and simply waiting. I've had patients come to me using a cane, frightened of falling, convinced their situation was permanent. When we stabilized blood sugar, corrected nutrient deficiencies, and removed the sources of daily damage, something shifted, not overnight, but the pain eased, the fear eased. One woman told me she'd forgotten what it felt like to trust her own legs. When that came back, even partially, she cried. That's what this is really about. Not numbers on a lab test, not a perfect diet. It's about staying on your own feet, feeling the ground beneath you, moving through your days without dreading what your body might do next. So here is a simple plan you can begin right now. Remove liquid sugar completely. No juice, no sweetened drinks, no smoothies. Pair every carbohydrate with protein or healthy fat. Never eat carbs alone. Move fruit to after meals and keep portions modest. Walk for 10 minutes after eating when you can. Ask your doctor to test your B12 levels if it hasn't been done recently. And if you're on long-term medications, ask whether any of them are known to affect nutrient absorption. Pay attention to what changes over the next 2 to 4 weeks. Many people notice less burning at night, better sleep, and steadier footing after just a short time. Even small improvements are meaningful. They tell you the damage is not yet set in stone. I want to be completely honest with you. Anyone who promises a miracle cure for neuropathy is not telling you the truth. But anyone who tells you there is nothing to be done is also wrong. The truth lives in between those two extremes, and that's where real progress happens, quietly, consistently, one small change at a time. Your nerves allow you to feel, to move, to balance, to stay independent. they deserve to be protected, and you have more power to protect them than you may have been led to believe. Before you go, leave a comment below. Tell me your age, where you're watching from, and whether any of what I've shared today sounds familiar. Are you experiencing tingling or burning? Have you been told it's just aging? Have you ever tried pairing carbs with protein and noticed a difference? I want to hear from you. If this video helped you see your nerve health differently, share it with someone who needs it. Too many people are suffering quietly because they were told nothing could be done. Sometimes the most powerful thing we can offer each other is simply the truth. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next, because every week I'm here with guidance built specifically for older adults who still have so much living to do. I'm Dr. Naira. Take care of your nerves. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you next time.